Good morning, everybody. So today's Thursday, and we're on day 4, and I am just so excited to continue this journey of 5 days of just sharing what I've learned and just following what I feel God has led me to step out and do. So this morning, I'm going to be talking about a little bit of just planning and overwhelming stuff and how to say yes and how to say no. We consistently are always, we're consistently always saying yes to people. At least I know I was. Last year, I had really had a moment where it hit me. Like, if I take on one more yes, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose my cool and I'm going to flip out on somebody. Like, seriously. I had so much anxiety and so much stress from saying yes to so many things that my daily planner was busting at the seams. Like, I can't even tell you how much stuff I had on my plate. I am still busy today, but I have learned a couple things, and I'm going to share that with you today. So each small square on that calendar that I had, as I said, was bursting at the seams on that calendar. So it was crammed with conflicting responsibilities for me. Children's music at the church, play practice for Christmas, church meetings, church Bible study commitments, work deadlines that I was having. And then I even had a point where I had a brief moment of social life required that really showed me that even budgeting had become out of control. Like, it was too advanced for me. I had just had that bursting planner, even though the planner itself couldn't hold one more thing because I was busting at the seams. And that's exactly what I realized. I realized when I held that planner in my hand last year, that's when it hit me. And I realized I have a planner that is so full, busting at the seams. What that planner really represented was me. It was showing me, it was an easier way to look at and see that though that planner was busting at the seams, really I was busting at the seams. If I had one more thing on my plate, I would have busted. I would have lost everything. So I was so busy that I started to resent the time I had to spend sleeping. And in the midst of my overscheduled life, God continued to call me to spend daily quiet time with Him. Can you imagine that? I mean, today, we're busting at the seams. We're so busy. We're constantly telling people yes. And here's God and His Word. And we're so called to take that quiet time and apply it into our hearts daily. So I thought, how can I fit one more thing into my life? Like, how am I going to be able to do this? So, and I when I was doing this, I thought, didn't God understand how important all the activities that I had scheduled already were? The work of the day insisted on its own urgency. So I often rushed through a token devotion, and I hurried prayers. So many times I hurried prayers. So I was reading through the Gospels, and I discovered the scripture that mentioned many times how Jesus went away. He went away to pray, and sometimes early in the morning. Well, then there was sometimes late at night, and sometimes he even prayed overnight. When life is overwhelming, setting aside time for prayer feels so conflicting. Surely diving into the work of the day will bring more progress than stepping aside for prayer. Now, I haven't ever thought that until I was really studying about this last year, and I thought, that's exactly what I'm feeling. Like, well, I really have to, set aside time for prayer? I mean, really? So, Jesus understood the pressure of time. His brief years of ministry that he had were limited. And there was so many people who needed truth and forgiveness and healing. His disciples needed to be taught. The Father's plan needed to be carried out. Yet, he made prayer his priority. As busy as my life might be, will never carry the weight of responsibility that Jesus did. I won't. None of us will. But he came to redeem the entire human race. Yet instead of frantic urgency, he constantly modeled a life of prayer, of retreat, and seeking a quiet place. So I was reading, and it came across me that Martin Luther King said, "I have so much to do that I shall spend the first 3 hours in prayer." That level of commitment, 3 hours in prayer. Yet he was busy. Along with the consistent example of Jesus, that inspires me. It really inspires me to find my own solitary space and time each day to spend time in prayer. So I actually have a step for you, and is this. If your day feels too full, take a risk and schedule some extra prayer first, trusting Jesus to provide what you need for all of your other responsibilities. Let me say that again, because I want you guys to hear me, because this is what hit home for me last year. This is what really changed me in my prayer every single day in my prayer life. If your day feels too full, take a risk, schedule some extra prayer time, and then putting your trust into Jesus to provide what you need for all of your other responsibilities. So our first responsibility should be to pray and be one with God every day in the morning before we start out our day. At least this is what I've done. And it's really changed my outlook on life. It has changed so many things for me, but in a good way. Last year I changed. When God spoke to me about this, I knew, God, I can't continue to put responsibilities before you, the one who created me, who put me on this earth for a very big plan. And so I decided that every morning I was going to get up and I was going to pray, and I was going to have time to dig, to, get to the core of a daily study with God. And do you know how much that has changed my outlook? How much this has changed to help me grow? I'm still human. I mean, I have real flesh, And so I do make mistakes, and I will it's constant. We're always going to make mistakes. I do. I am living proof. But the one thing that has changed my mind completely in the last, year is giving God first place. Giving Him that first amount of time in my life in the mornings. Now, I will say, I put my son on the bus, and as soon as he steps on that bus, I get to my study area in our master suite, and I study. I spend 30 minutes every day, and you don't have to spend 30 minutes. 15 minutes is great, but spending that morning time before my littlest gets up, or if my husband's off, I still do these things because it's important to me. And I know that getting that to help motivate my day changes everything. It changes my whole week. It has given me so much light every single day. Yes, I still have bad days. Yes, there's so many things I still do. I still have bad days. I still have things that I'm overcoming. And yet, God is what has brought me through that every single day, so I can see Him and feel His word first in my life and let it marinate inside of me. Then, when I've had that time, it brings me to a place of when I'm with my family for the rest of the day, or whatever it is I'm doing. I can be able to feel freer, that the responsibilities that I have that day from that jam-packed planner that's bursting at the seams is no longer bursting at the seams, because God has put that on my plan and on my plate to not have a bursting at the seams thing. So I also in turn learn that I don't have to say yes to every single thing that comes my way. Sometimes we just say no, because it might not be easy to tell a family member no. It might not be easy to tell a mom no, a brother no. But once they see that you're trying to be more consistent with your prayer life, and you're trying to take the weight off your shoulders because it doesn't belong there, and they see that you're not overwhelming yourself, there won't be one person who doesn't think that you're in the right. Because you are. You're doing everything correctly. And so the last thing I'll leave you with is a verse. And it says, "And in the morning, rising up a great while before day, he went out and departed into a solitary place, and there he prayed." So I am challenging each one of you guys that are watching this to find a prayer closet. Do it. Make you a prayer closet. Make you that time. Devote your time to finding a solitary place for you, a place where you can pray. And I guarantee your life won't go wrong. Things will actually you'll see the burden of that weight on your shoulders be lifted off. And so that verse was Mark 1:35. And that is what I had for you guys today. If you guys have questions or you guys want to talk about this, feel free. You guys all know what to do. You guys have a blessed Thursday. I am going to get ready for the day as I take Justin to get his wisdom teeth pulled out. So you guys will be in prayer for him. I thank you. If you guys have a prayer request or anything, feel free to put them below, and we will all come together and pray. So I love each of you, and I hope that you guys are blessed.